you have to remember this. This is actually a key to change your habits. Your habits never die. Something like the James Bond movie, tomorrow never dies. Your habit doesn't die, it just lies dormant. The moment you are hooked on something, you only need the cue. In this case, this is a rat. A rat is not as equal to human. Rat has very low intelligence, almost no intelligence, very negligible intelligence. If a rat can actually behave after a few weeks, the moment they give the cue, it starts running back again. It shows that the habit is actually formed. And we can't help it because it's formed in your basal ganglia. Once the pathway is there, it's going to be there. Right? This is a very important fact that you all have to keep in your mind. This will help you when we come to the fact of changing your habits. Are we clear to that? Any questions? Any questions? So, this is how habit works. The cue. In that experiment just now, the cue was the click sound. Door opens. Then the rat goes to a routine. Run through the maze. That is the routine. And the reward is the chocolate. Habit is a loop. A lot of us think that habit is this one. No. If you're a smoker, smoking is not the habit itself. It is actually the routine. The reward is the nicotine. What nicotine does to the brain. Okay? The cue can be something, if you're used to, some people get up in the morning, the first thing they do is they go to the toilet and smoke. I have a friend, he studied with me, and I know him for over 5 years. He has this habit of taking the comic into the toilet from varsity days until today. He needs something to read, And I asked him, why do you do that? He said, he needs something to read. Of course, now he brings his smartphone and goes, but he needs something to read to go to the toilet. So when I studied, I said, why do you go through all this hassle? Why do you have to read? Why not just go to the toilet and get the thing done? He said, no. And then he started offering me the comic book. I said, no thanks. Right? So it's the same thing. The cue for him was actually bowel movement. Right? The routine is, of course, the toilet itself. So, you see, the same thing with smoking. The same thing with...
the reward.
Yeah?
The reward is reading the book.
Relief. The way is relief. The reward is relief. The routine is actually the reading. The cue is the bowel movement. So, same like, we have a habit of reading papers in the morning. Right? News. News is actually a drug. News is actually a drug to our brains. But it's a different topic. Okay. Dr. Wolfram Schultz went a bit further and did experiment with a monkey. This monkey named Julio. Right? And what happened was, they played this screen, this small the screen with shades. In the beginning, when they put the monkey on the chair, monkey being monkeys, they just couldn't sit still, And then the shape started. But before that, what they found out that monkeys like juice. So this particular monkey, Julio, likes blackberry juice. Right? So after a few weeks of training, the moment the monkey sees a shape, any shape, square, triangle, rectangular, the blackberry juice. He gives a blackberry juice and he likes blackberry juice. So the blackberry juice is the reward. The cue is the shape, any colored shape. The routine is the lever. The monkey presses the lever, the response bar in this case. And what they found out that when the monkey did not predict anything, when the monkey, the first few tries, when there's a reward, the juice, the activity in the monkey's brain, it's a spike here. Right? Few weeks of training, the monkey actually start spiking here. Reward predicted, reward occurs. This is very important.
Sorry.
Yep.
Does that mean, is that time?
Yeah.
Go from right to left?
Yes.
Sorry.
This is time. Time. This is time. Alright? So in the beginning when the monkey is not expecting anything, when he receives the shot of blackberry juice, the brain activity spikes. This monkey likes blackberry juice. How many of you like blackberry juice? Okay, but what happens over time? This a few weeks, goes into months. Okay, it's not important how long, but it started expecting the juice the moment, even before touching the bar. The moment the shape comes in, even before touching the bar, Julio expects the reward. This is called craving. Right? And of course, no reward, it gets a bit irritated. Right? So, this is how your habits are formed. You start to crave. You get a cue, you do a routine, you do a reward, but the habits are not formed yet. Okay, your habits are not formed yet. That is why you start smoking, the first few sticks, how many of you smoke here? Don't smoke, don't ever do that. Right? Don't ever do that. It's a very bad habit, a very difficult habit to kick. Right? The few sticks that you start smoking, you're not going to, the habit is not formed yet. Because you're not craving. But after a few days, you do it daily, something happens up there, and you start craving for the nicotine shot. You have developed a bad habit. Right?
So if when you get craving, it's only when you start to enjoy it.
Yes. Yes. You start enjoying the rewards, you're going to start craving. Right? And what they did in Germany, is that they wanted a few people to start exercising. Right? So, exercising is no fun. Because if you exercising to lose weight, you're going to take a few months of very disciplined effort to lose weight. Right? You're not going to lose weight. You're going to start running today and lose weight tomorrow. No. You have to be patient. So what they did in Germany was that at the end of getting people to run, they start giving chocolates. It's a bit counterintuitive, running and then giving people chocolates. But guess what they did? They wanted to reward. Okay? After 3 or 4 weeks, they found that people stop taking the chocolate, they just run. You know why? When you are engaged in a physical activity, your brain actually releases endorphins. It's a natural high. Okay? It's a natural drug that your body releases to make you feel good and wholesome. But in the beginning, you have to trick your brain. So they just gave chocolates. And after 3 or 4 weeks, they found out that people stopped taking the chocolates, but they still kept running. Because the brain has started to crave for the endorphin. Okay? Now, how many of you have problems studying? Okay. How many of you don't care? How many of you think studying is fun? How many of you think studying is fun? Okay? Can you share with us why you are this? You like to read, right? There's a reward. You like to read. You're happy when you're reading. Who else? Why do you like to study? Yes. Another person? Who else? Achievement. Right? There's a sense of, yeah? Achievement is addictive. Achievement is a habit. So, we all want a reward at the end of study. Nobody studies for no reason. See, it might not be for exam, it might not be for achievement, it might just be for knowledge. You feel happy when you get knowledge. See, at the end of the day, at the end of the loop, there is a reward. There is a reward. Without reward, you're never going to form habit. And to kick your, sorry, yes, without any of these three, you're not going to form a habit. Okay? So for those who are normal and who studying is not easier for those of us normal human beings. So how do you treat your brain to study? How do you treat your brain to study? You have to study, right? You have to, even if you're not a student, you still have to read and to keep abreast of your field, in your field. So how do you treat your brain?
You have to find what is our reward and associate.
Correct. Yes. And you also need a cue. The reading, the taking notes, the answering questions is the routine. Is the routine. Right? The reward is what you're going to give at the end of your session. But you need a cue. You need a cue. Something to trigger you to study. Cue, there are only 5 cues. Time, location, who you are with, your preceding action, right? Time, location, who you are with, your preceding action. 4. Another one is yeah.
Sound.
Sound.
It sounds like cue.
Yeah, these are all cues. There are 5 cues. There's only 5 cues.
Time, location, who you're with,
Yeah, preceding actions and who you're with, and also your environment, your location and your environment, right? If you're in a library, that might be a cue for you to study, or it might be a cue for you to socialize. Depends on what you've been doing, right? Who you're with. If you're always with the person who studies, you're going to end up studying too. If you're always with the person, like the slide we saw just now, partying, is going to be very difficult for you to study, right? Your environment, your surroundings. You might be in the library, but if it's noisy, if you're sitting with a group of students who are doing something else, you're not going to study either. And your preceding action before that, you're not. If you just get up and go to the library, it's going to be difficult for you to study, right? Right. So these are the cues. So you need a cue. So if you want to trick your brain to study or to do anything that you don't like doing, you have to have a reward. Okay, your reward can be after my study session, I go for a day study, or I reward myself with maybe 10 minutes of internet, or make a phone call to somebody. Anything that makes you happy. Okay, anything that makes you happy and not too damaging to your health. Don't after I study for 1 hour, I want to go smoke two packs of cigarette. That's not good, right? So that's how you can use this, right? So this is very important, people, right? Know your reward, know your cue. Your routine is that studying, right?
So that's why they say when actually say that if you want to become successful, for example, you meet and mix with the successful people.
Yes.
Who are
Successful, yes. Yes. Okay, thanks. You know Alcoholics Anonymous? AA. I don't know whether you have it in Malaysia or not. But AA is started by a guy who not only was a drunkard, his father and his grandfather was also a drunkard. They are alcoholics. I cannot remember his name, but he was actually an army veteran. He was introduced to drinking. Army mess, they have people, they started becoming alcoholic. The moment he came out from the army, all good habits being in the military dropped, but the bad habit of drinking stayed. And he became an alcoholic up to a point he wanted to kill himself. Then he said, no, this is not going to happen. What happened was, he got together with another friend. Then instead of going to drink, they started sharing their experience. That's how AA started. They have 12 steps. Apparently it's from the 12 apostles. AA was started by, they're not scientists, they're laymen, but their approach is very simple. Instead of going for a drink, they just start sharing. And it's a very successful movement all around the world. It helps millions of people overcome alcoholic addiction. Right? So, smoking, I like to give this example because of my personal bad habit of smoking. I started smoking not when I was schooling. I was very disciplined. I said, I shouldn't smoke under my father's money. So after I graduated, at the age of 24, I started smoking. And I smoked for 20 years. Right? I smoked for 20 years. And when I came across this research and this book by Charles Duhigg, Habit, okay, this whole talk is based on that book, Habit by Charles Duhigg. You can go and look for it. And I know that nicotine addiction, nicotine only stays in your body for 100 hours, basically about 5 hours, that's 5 days. And after that, you're not addicted to nicotine anymore. It is just habit that makes you pick up that cigarette. Right? So, what I did, the cue was always what mama shop. After one nice spicy food, nothing satisfies than smoke. Right? Don't ever get into that habit. Even I'm talking to you now, something's triggering in my mind. Okay? The routine is to puff and the reward is right? Actually, nicotine makes you more alert. Right? I cannot remember why I started smoking. Alright? The cue was, it can be a cigarette. In my case, it always food. I always smoke after food. I said, okay. For 5 days, each time, what I did was I started drinking hot water. I had this fact with me. I know nicotine stays in our body for hours, about 5 days. So every time after a spicy food, I start drinking hot water. Somehow the hot water cuts, the craving for nicotine. So I did that for 5 days. And then every time I felt the urge to smoke, I said, "But Allah." The reward I gave to myself is at the end of the day, I kept a journal. I said, another day, I did not smoke. And I did this for 2 months. Okay, now I can sit in front of my friend who smoke and I can just say no. Right? I went through this. It was not easy. For 1 month I suffered. When your body withdraws from nicotine, there's a few symptoms you go through. I went through the worst. I start having depression. Depression is actually one of the side effects of nicotine withdrawal. And depression is the worst. You get up in the middle of the night, can't sleep. Your heart is pumping it. And I asked the doctor why. He said, because your body is withdrawing from the nicotine. And your brains become foggy. You know why? Because there's too much oxygen. When you smoke, your brain doesn't get enough oxygen. When you stop smoking, your brain gets more oxygen. So it's adapting. You feel very lightheaded. See? So I went through this and then stop. Right? For those who have not started smoking, do not start. Do not ever start. It is not easy to kick this habit. Let me tell you from experience. Right? And every bad habit for the matter. Alcohol is the same. And now you have all kinds of drugs. It also does the same damage to your body. Okay? So, another one is yes. At the end of a long day, I know people, I give a lot of talks to insurance people, they like to go for a drink. You know why? It's not that they want alcohol, it's not from that. It's because they like to socialize. But then, alcohol is another powerful chemical. Your body gets hooked to it. Your brain starts craving for the alcohol. Of course, your reward is your habit. So how do you all think you can change this? See, when we start talking to people in the industry, especially insurance, yes sir. They say that it's not alcohol they want the socializing. You know, they like the socializing. So we told them, why not go to the gym? You socialize. And the reward is the same. The reward is to be with people, is to feel happy being with people. Right? These are for people who take normal consumption of alcohol, but not for those hardcore alcoholics, you know. You ask the hardcore alcoholics to go to the gym, you're going to kill him. Right? That's what not happen. Alright. Okay. You can't see this, but if you go to www.charlesduhigg.com, you can D-U-H-I-G-G. Charles Duhigg. You go to the website, you can download this. Right? How to change a habit? Okay, any volunteers? You want to change any habit? Let us go through. Any habits you think you want to change? Eating too much, eating when you're studying, or studying when you're eating. Yeah. Yeah.
Lack of exercise.
Lack of exercise. Okay, lack of exercise. All right.
How do I get exercise routine going?
Okay, sir. Your name, sir?
Mervin.
Mervin. Okay, Mervin. When do you like to exercise? Early in the morning or after work?
Early.
Early in the morning. So your exercise is the routine. You want to run? Or in your house? A few exercise training?
There's a gym nearby.
There's a gym nearby. Okay. That makes it easier, right? There's a gym nearby. So you have to think of a reward. What reward can you give yourself? At least exercise depends on individuals. It takes people 3 weeks. It takes people 3 months to develop the habit. But your reward must be good. So for 3 months or so, what reward you think you can give yourself?
Kill me.
It can, but later I think you will, you will have the same weight.
For me, can I say something?
Yeah.
For me, when my reward is when I can wear all my beautiful clothes. Because I put on nowadays when I put on clothes, right, it's getting tighter. So, wow, that really pushed me to the gym. I hate it, but I have no choice. But the reward is I can wear my clothes finally.
Thank you.
Peter Drucker, you have Peter Drucker? Peter Drucker was actually very heavy and overweight when he started speaking. So what he did was, he bought a pair of pants, several sizes smaller than him, and just put in front of his bed. So that was the cue and the reward for him. Of course, at that time there was no such research, but that was the cue and the reward. The moment he got up in the morning, he saw, I want that, and that is the reward. He went and he started running to one block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, and until he lost a few kilos. So, Muslim's reward is dress. Maybe your reward can be, I don't know. You have to work out the reward.
Yes. What would work for me?
Yeah. What will work for you? See, and then the cue. The cue is always. I always tell people, exercising. The best is you put your exercising clothes, your shoes, just beside your bed. The moment you get up in the morning, that is the cue. You wear that and I run. So if you go to the gym, you wear that and go to the gym. That is the cue. The reward, of course, as I said, exercising release endorphins, but that is going to take some time. Within that 2 months, 3 months, or I don't know, it might be 6 months for you. You need to trick your brain. You need to trick your brain to believe that exercising is fun. In Germany, they give chocolate, but after 3 weeks, it drops off, because endorphin kick is even better than the chocolate. So it can be roti canai, And they tarik, if that makes you happy, but it has to stop at one point.
Well, just links me back to chocolate. Okay, after my room try after a week, I will stop.
Sabi chocolate.
Or you can list down the benefits of health benefits that you get from exercising, and then delay your gratification. Right?
We know what the benefits are, but
Yes, to delay
we
the
still
yeah. So
convenience. We make it convenient.
yes,
We make
yeah.
queues.
So you have the cue, you know the reward, right? Of course, like some people, so those who are here who studying is actually you don't have to reward yourself. You know? The A that you get is actually a reward by itself, right? And you go a bit further down the road, if you can imagine yourself in convocation, if you can look at UTAR's convocation recordings, you see how the parents are happy. That's a reward in itself. And then you look at your seniors who are in a good job, who are earning well, that is a reward. But you have to delay that. It's not easy. You all live in the now. So it's not easy, but if you can go there, right? Which brings me to the marshmallow test. Actually, I wanted to play a video, but I couldn't do that. If you go to YouTube, you type marshmallow test. Marshmallow test is the #1 test that will determine whether you'll be successful or not in your life. Of course, we are in Malaysia, we don't eat marshmallows. How many of you eat marshmallows? Okay. Marshmallow for kids, very addictive. It's very addictive. Just like when I was smoking, you put me a Daniel in front, ask me not to smoke. It takes a lot of determination, willpower not to do it. So what they did was, they recorded this. They went to a kid 3-4 years old. They give one marshmallow. The thing is, the researcher will say to the kid, you can have that marshmallow now, one, or if you wait for 10 minutes, I'll give you 2 marshmallows. Right? These are kids for 3 or 4 years old, and marshmallows for them it's like, it's very addictive to them because of the sugar there. And they found out, percentage-wise, only 15% of the students, 15% of these kids were able to delay. And this was done in the 60s, and they tracked the life of these kids, and they found that these 15% of the kids that actually delayed did better in their exams, did better in their relationship, and overall they did better in their life. And this experiment has been going on for many years under different generations. It's always the same. Those who are able to delay their gratification are those who are successful in their lives. Okay? So when you have the time and go back and look at this marshmallow test. And you also can go to the web and read the history of marshmallow test. Okay? So it is the #1 test that determines how successful you can be. It's actually your willpower. Right? The reason why you need the reward is actually our willpower is not that strong. You need to trick your brains to study, you need to trick your brains to exercise. Right? But the moment the intrinsic reward is higher than the extrinsic reward, extrinsic is outward, the chocolate, the roti canai, the dress. The intrinsic is the sense of achievement. In terms of exercise, is the endorphin and all other chemicals that your body gives out naturally. These are intrinsic. The moment this reward takes over, then you can throw away the outer reward, the extrinsic reward. But until then, you need something to trick your brain to like studying, to like exercising, right? To stop smoking. So to change a habit, the cue and reward must remain. Change the routine. Right? What I told you just now is forming a new habit. We went a bit further in front, but to change habit, if you want to change a habit, you need to keep the cue and the reward. You just change the routine. The routine is all of what we think it is the habit, but habit is actually three loop. It's a loop of three elements. The routine is the one you need to change. Now you have, just say you have a bad habit of munching in front of TV. You come back from work or from your studies, you sit in front of the TV and you start eating. How many of you all do that? How many of you all do that?
Sit in front of TV.
No eating. That's good. I can't do that. I have to. The mouth must move, the hand must move. Right? It's a bad habit. It's not that you're hungry, It's not that you're hungry.
Snacking.
Yes. You're snacking. The cue is the TV. You switch on the TV, the reward is actually, if you're hungry, if you're really hungry, the reward might be your food. But if you're not hungry, the reward is something else. The reward is actually, oh, today I watched The Voice or whatever program that you're watching.
It's just like when you go to the cinema, it's trigger is that you must have a
Yeah. Yeah.
Something's missing.
Right. You can't stop going to cinema, right? You can't stop going to the cinema just because you want popcorn, right? You want to enjoy the cinematic experience. So the cue is the cinema. The reward is actually the movie. It's not that you're hungry. The reward is the movie. You have watched the movie. Now we are waiting for the Hobbit third part, right? Right. But that is actually the reward of a movie. But why do you eat the popcorn? It's a routine. It's a habit that you have to have something in your mouth. So it's very simple. How can you overcome this? You need your mouth to move. How can you overcome this? Chewing gum.
It happened to me last night because I went for a movie. I was so sure that I wanted to just watch the movie. I wasn't hungry. I had a very heavy meal before that. But just as I was walking to get into the Cineplex, right? Yeah, the counters are there. And, oh, popcorn! I need it. That's it.
Correct.
There was no
Yes.
necessity for it.
Same thing in McDonald's. You don't need the French fries. You're not hungry. You see the big M there. Suddenly you start craving for the fries.
It's like a trigger.
Yes, it's like a trigger. That is why they have the counters always on the right side. There's a science to that. The food counters are always on the right side of the resort.
Because you're always
Yes.
to the right.
Nobody from Tesco here. Tesco done a research that they found that the moment people go into stores, they tend to go to your right side. You tend to go into your right side. That is why you see whatever they want you to buy is kept at the high level on the right side. These are people have made studies on this.